I apologize. This is going to be a bad video lecture because I just thought of it today as it happened last night. So I'll probably come back and redo it, but I want to look at something that Beto O'Rourke said last night. So I'm going to read this to you. You can read it with me. Racism in America is endemic and it is foundational, O'Rourke said. We can mark the creation of this country not at 4th of July 1776, but August 20th, 1619, when the first kidnapped African was brought to this country against his will and in bondage as a slave, built the greatness and success and wealth that neither he nor his descendants would ever be able to fully participate in and enjoy it. Hold on, this is from the debate. We have a challenge to address this in our education system, our health care, or the fact that there's 10 times the wealth in white America than in black America. But we must also call out the fact that we have a white supremacist in our White House. And he poses a mortal threat to people across this country. So, I think Beto O'Rourke is wrong, but I think he's right about one thing. And I want to point this out. Hold on. Racism in America is foundational. I would agree with this. Black slavery makes racism foundational. Before there was a country, there were slaves. And we build this country, the Constitution accepts it. And our wealth is built upon this. The cotton is half the export of the United States in 1859, 1860. And it's built on the back of slaves, no doubt about it. And then over the next 100 years, though we free the slaves after the Civil War, there's 100 years of Jim Crowism. When we talk about racism in America, we are talking about white people thinking that black people should not mix with white people, that there should be no miscegenation. That's the old-fashioned word for it. This is what those people thought in 1950 and 1940 in the South. This is definitely what people thought in 1920 and 1860. Thomas Jefferson, oddly enough, of course, had, we believe, we were not 100% sure, but 99% sure that Thomas Jefferson had children by his black mistress. So I don't know what he thought. I guess he was okay with miscegenation. I mean, he did free his children. He didn't free the rest of his slaves, but that's because he didn't have the money. So, I would agree with Beto O'Rourke. Racism is foundational. I also agree with Beto O'Rourke that when you say racism, or at least when I say racism, I mean white supremacists. That's what I mean by racism. See, I think we have a problem. We're using the word racism, and people have been calling Donald Trump a racist for a long time. I think Beto O'Rourke, see, he wanted to up it one. He wanted to say, you're not just a racist, you're a white supremacist. But again, this has been my argument. If you go back and look at my other lectures, racism in America, and this is just American racism. Other countries have it differently. In Indonesia, it's all about the Chinese. I'll tell you that. But in America, racism is white people not wanting black people to mix with white people. We call these people white supremacist racists today. Back in the 1940s, we just called them Southerners. That's all. Everyone believed that. Today, I would say almost no one believes that idea. Now, can throw out lots of racist things that Donald Trump has said. He said bad things about Muslims. Wait. Saying bad things about Muslims is not racist. Sam Harris says bad things about Muslims all the time. He's an atheist. He hates religion. Muslims are devout religion people. As far as you are a devout religion person and a Muslim, he's not going to hate you, but he's not digging you either. He's going to say bad things about you. So, being anti-Muslim, being anti-immigrant isn't racist. I am going to guess, and I don't know this is true, that Donald Trump does not like the French or the British. I don't think he's had very good experiences in Britain and France lately. I bet he would not want any white people coming in from Britain and France just to show them. Immigration is something that people all over the world hate. Everyone hates immigrants. In South Africa, just recently, we had a huge riot because of immigrants, workers who are coming from other countries in Africa. This is just how we feel about immigrants. I don't feel this way about immigrants, but I do. Well, I will give you a lecture on immigrants later. We're going to try to keep this one below 8 minutes. So, to me, if you're saying a racist is a white supremacist, which is what I say, Donald Trump is not a racist. He is not a white supremacist. Now, there is one thing we could do. We could go and look at the Charlottesville story, and I'll have to do that on another lecture, but I promise you, he absolutely, without any he completely repudiates the white supremacists there. Now, I know you're going to argue with me. That's going to have to be another one. So, can I just say something in my last 3 minutes? So, Donald Trump, not a racist. Is he happy for racists to vote for him? Of course he is. Did he not denounce David Duke? That's the truth. You don't know this story. This is when I started hating him. He was asked, do you denounce David Duke? And he said, I don't know. I have to look into it. Now, this was very early in his candidacy. And it's not that he didn't hate David Duke or didn't know that David Duke was a KKK person. He just didn't know what white people in the South thought about David Duke. See, he's a panderer, don't get me wrong. Donald Trump will say anything to anyone to sell things, including himself. I'm not disagreeing with that, and in that sense, he's vile and awful, and I hate him too, and I do feel that he's an evil force in America, but he's not a white supremacist. I don't even think he's a racist. He's probably done racist things in his business, but he's screwed everyone in New Jersey. Everyone in New Jersey has been hurt by Donald Trump. He's like one of those people that I'm not a racist. I hate everyone equally. I think he's done bad things to everyone equally. Okay, real quickly, just seriously, Democrats, our country didn't start on July 4th, 1776. That's how you're going to sell it? You want to win an election saying that? That is not how you win elections. Oh, my goodness. I don't know what you're thinking about. And really, that neither he nor his descendants would ever be able to fully participate and enjoy. You think that black people will never be able to participate in America? That seems very negative. That seems very sad. I better turn it off here because I only have 30 seconds. But I will come back and we'll do a better job of this. We'll talk about that speech that he said that there were good people on both sides. I'll tell you real quickly, he meant there are people on both sides of the question, should we have Robert E. Lee statues? Now, you may disagree with that, but that's what he was saying. I'll talk to you later.